Hey guys, welcome back to the final part of What If Ash Gets Crocodile much more early than the original. This is the final part, so I hope you enjoy this intense episode. So let's begin. Once everything is set up and Ash is perfectly picking the right Pokemon for every situation that Ash has quickly planning on thinking back throughout their previous battle. Ash is de- thinking on every Pokemon that Chip has ever used against Ash, and Ash has perfectly managed to gather up a powerful team against Chip here. Without a hesitation, he quickly picked them up and patiently sleeps during the night. Even though Ash couldn't sleep right, but he's too excited for the final, perhaps final battle here. And once the day has finally arrived itself, Ash simply walks to the battlefield as Trip simply reveals himself, and the two doesn't say to one another, only brought it out their Pokeballs and sending out their Pokemon to battle as the referee calls out.
As the referee declares the battle, Ash simply sends out his trustful water Pokemon to battle Duat here. And after Chip simply smirks towards Duat, and Duat doesn't seem to like it, and he will show Chip that how much Duat has becoming so much stronger. But Chip simply sending out his Volcarona to battle, and Ash is surprised that Trip managed to get a very rare Pokemon. But Ash is feeling confident that Duaku should handle this fire type Pokemon, as Ash simply calls out for a powerful Aqua Jet, planning to hit fast. But unfortunately, as Duak simply charges toward Vikavolt, Trip simply commands Volcarona to dodge out of the way and use a powerful Hurricane. A powerful surge of wind strikes Duat ungodly and is forced to take the full brunt of it, and Ash gets caught surprised by that. But luckily, Duat simply uses a powerful waterfall and directly hitting Volcarona, but it seems like Volcarona managed to dodge out of it, only took quarter of the damage, and Volcarona seems to fire up a powerful fiery dance as the Volcar Pokemon seems to hit the fire attack with Duat. And not just that, it seems like Volcarona seems to be power up, noting that every time it uses that move, there's a chance that it gets stronger every time, and Ash has to be much more cautious, so he simply commands Duat with a powerful water pulse directly towards Volcarona, but Volcarona seems to use the Hurricane to block the water pulse in its track, and Volcarona seems to launch a powerful Bug Buzz. As Duat is forcibly has to close his ears up, attempting to resist the powerful Buzz move here, but unfortunately it took a lot of damage from it and forces Ash to command Duat to get in close anyway with a powerful Sword Stand, as Duat simply takes out its two shells and quickly charge Volcarona with a powerful swords technique. But unfortunately, thanks to being a bug type, is able to resist the move and once again use fiery dance towards Duat again, and forcing Ash to quickly call off a powerful Aqua Jet. But for the first time, Volcarona doesn't seem to attempt to dodge out of the way. It even allowed Duat to hit, and this Ash to be questioning as Duat then quickly charges in with a powerful Sacred Sword. But unfortunately, because once it attempted to execute the move, it simply got burned, and Ash is confused what would happen and quickly remembers as he looks to Volcarona and quickly realizes its ability, Flame Body. Any contact move, there's a chance that the opponent might get burned, and Ash simply entered that trap. As Trick simply gains, Ash, I've been planning this strategy this whole tournament. You think I wouldn't come here and thought a strategy that I could finally determine who really is the better between us, as Trick commands for a powerful Bug Buzz, and again Duat is forcefully had to take the damage, and Ash had no other choice but to recall Duat here, and this seems to let Duat pretty down because of that. And Ash quickly needs to think another Pokemon and quickly noted there's one Pokemon that would have a field day with Volcarona and sending out his rock type to battle Boulder here. But unfortunately for Boulder, before it could do any sort of move or even attempt to move, Trip simply recalls Volcarona back, leaving Boulder and Ash surprised and sending out his Jellicent to battle. And Ash quickly remembers a very similar battle where Rock and Roller was battling the Jellicent, and remember Boulder had a terrible time, but he feels somewhat confident with Boulder but is unsure, but he wants to quickly test out Jellicent before he could set the next Pokemon that is on mine. But unfortunately Ash is a bit too slow as strict commands for a powerful Ominous Wind and a powerful hold ghostly wind blows toward Boulder. Even though it's a wind, but it's still a ghost typing, as the rock type is taking the damage from it, but luckily since it's a rock type is having a easier time resisting, as Boulder simply charges with a powerful rock slide, as Boulder simply covers the battlefield by falling rocks, and Jellicent seems to be unsure how to avoid it, as it simply gets hit from the attack, leading Ash to be grinning and calling out for a powerful flash cannon, as Boulder charges for a powerful flash cannon, and this seems to hit Jellicent unguarded, surprising Ash, and quickly realizes Trip is waiting for another Ominous Wind, and the second time the Ominous Wind seems to be much more stronger this time. Not only that, Jellicent seems to be power up, meaning all its stat is boosted to one stage, meaning that Boulder is going to have a much more harder time, as Boulder attempted to use Sandstorm trying to hide itself in the Sandstorm, but unfortunately Jellicent is a ghost typing and able to phase in and out of it, meaning it doesn't took from the chip damage as much, but releases a powerful bind, a powerful water move, as Jellicent exactly knows where Boulder is and took the full brunt of it, but luckily Jellicent's accuracy isn't well in the heavy storm, as Boulder managed to only take half the damage, and Ash quickly realized Boulder is in serious trouble, as no other choice but to recall Boulder here. Unsure any other Pokemon that he has that could take out his Jellicent, he wants to make sure that he wants to take out this ghost Pokemon out, as he sends out his Pikachu for battle. And Chip simply calls for Jellicent to fly up in the middle of the sandstorm and try to recover Samurott with recover, as the ghost Pokemon managed to regenerate some major healing factors, allowing Jellicent to recover most of the damage, but unfortunately it still gets hit by a powerful Electro Ball that does hit Jellicent, but luckily Jellicent seems to be more prepared for electric types, meaning Jellicent took the Electro Ball pretty more favorably, but still affects him nonetheless, as Jellicent again commands a powerful Brine attack, and luckily Pikachu managed to dodge out of the way and simply goes for a powerful Iron Tail and seems to hit direct towards Jellicent, but thanks to its biologically advanced body, it allows to resist the physical side and unleashing a powerful bind once again, and this time Pikachu is unable to dodge the attack. And not only that, when Ash attempts to call a Thunderbolt, but unfortunately the Sandstorm seems to make it harder for Pikachu to aim it, meaning Jellicent managed to dodge out of the way, but Sandstorm begins to rain up, meaning both Pokemon takes a bit of a chip damage, but Ash and Trip knows that the Sandstorm will calm down, and that's when the real battle truly begins. And once Pikachu calls for another Thunderbolt, Jellicent seems to hide underneath the rock and manage to recover from the Electro Ball with the recover yet, and launching a powerful for Ominous Wind again, with a combination that Ominous Wind is in a Sandstorm. This time Pikachu is unable to avoid the attack completely, and not only that, Ominous Wind seems to boost Jellicent once again, meaning Jellicent is getting stronger throughout the battle, making a very hard decision for Ash and Pikachu, but luckily the Sandstorm seems to calm down, meaning that it finally ended, and Pikachu has a clear target for Jellicent, as Pikachu simply grins and quickly charges forward with a krookodile, not attempting to hit it, but just to circle around it for Gelatin confused. And Gelatin doesn't even attempt to attack because Chip knows this tactic of Ash likes to confuse the opponent, but simply commands one move with a brine, and by this time cover the whole battlefield as the ghost typing simply hits everywhere. But unfortunately, Pikachu did get hit from it, but luckily since it's not aiming specifically to Pikachu, is able to avoid most of the damage and launching a powerful thunderbolt, and this time Jason is unable to dodge it and takes the full brunt of the super effective damage. And this time Ashley commands for Pikachu to jump in the air and use Electro Ball, but don't launch it but still hang it on its tip. And once Pikachu goes up to the air and circles around it with charging out with Electro Ball, seemingly is going to use the gravity to add more damage. And this time Jason is unable to dodge because it's still recovering from the powerful thunderbolt, and Trip simply commands for Gelatin to repair himself to take that damage, and this is surprised by Ash, and once Pikachu managed to hit the Electro Ball, it does major damage to Gelatin. But it seems like Gelatin seems to still hang on in launching a powerful Will-O-Wisp, which shocks Ash and Pikachu is unable to avoid Will-O-Wisp and gets hit by that. But unfortunately, Gelatin finally is knocked out because of the powerful Electro Ball combination, as Ash is regretting that they finally had knocked out one Pokemon, but unfortunately Ash quickly realized that Pikachu is in effect from burn here, and meaning Ash's struck Pokemon is in a critical situation, as Chip simply grants towards Pikachu and bringing up a Pokemon that is very familiar towards Ash, as he simply calls upon Superior to battle. And once Ash noticed the very large serpent Pokemon, and Ash is looking back to Pikachu and noting that Pikachu is still feeling the burns effect. And Ash remembers the last time these two fought isn't one-sided the last time, so Ash quickly returns Pikachu back into his side, and Ash will simply use another Pokemon, and he attempts to use this powerful Pokemon Pignite to battle for an advantage towards Superior. But unfortunately Ash knows that he can't rely on type advantage to win this, because Chip is much more smarter than that, and once the battle begins, Ash quickly commands Pignite to do a powerful flamethrower, but surprisingly Superior seems to dodge out of the way, unleashing a powerful dragon death towards Pignite, and this caught Ash by surprise, but luckily Pignite reacts just in time to block some of the attack with its arm thrust, and not only that, it seems to get close to Superior and launching a powerful fighting type with arm thrust. But unfortunately, Superior, being a snake-like Pokemon, is able to wiggle around the arm thrust and able to launch a powerful dragon tail, and this time Pignite is unable to guard this and takes significant damage from it. But once Pignite managed to get himself far enough distance to unleash a powerful flamethrower, but again Superior seems to dodge the attack again, and Superior attempted to use Wrap Up, trying to get Pignite restrained with its huge body, but luckily Pignite is able to dodge out of the way and attempted to use a powerful Flame Fledge, and Ash wants this to be over with a powerful move, but unfortunately Superior seems to wiggle once again and unleashing a powerful Giga Drain, draining some health from Pignite, and any health that Superior took from Pignite is restored, and Ash is grinning this situation, so he quickly commands for a flamethrower once again, but unfortunately Superior seems to use the Dragon Tail's ability to resist the fire typing, and not only that, Superior seems to get closer and unleashing another Dragon Tail, but Ash quickly thought of something. Superior is actively dodging, meaning Superior doesn't have that high defense like other Trips' Pokemon like Jason. So as command, the only way to counter Superior speed is with getting faster, as he calls Ash for Pignite to use Flame Charge, and this thus seems to do the job, as Pignite simply storms into it and dashes towards Superior, and luckily enough Superior is unable to dodge out there because Pignite gained an unpredictable speed as it gets faster and managed to hit Superior one time, and then one as comments for a second time, and Pignite managed to hit Superior, but the second one seems to be surprising, as Chip simply grins at this and he commands Superior to do it now, and Superior is restraining Pignite with Wrap, and finally this Trip is only setting up his plan this whole time in the battle, and Ash quickly needs to command Big Knight to get out of there. But unfortunately, Superior is really holding Big Knight with his tail, and once Big Knight attempted to use a powerful flamethrower, but unfortunately Superior is fast enough using the end of its tail to restrain Big Knight's mouth, unable to open it, and this causes Big Knight to urge in pain because Superior is tightening the grip and Big Knight is struggling to get out of Superior's restraints, but unfortunately is unable to do so, and Trip even tightens the hold as Superior uses a powerful Giga Drain, and with this combination, Big Knight is going to lose here. And Ash quickly needs to think of something and quickly realize Big Knight's leg isn't restrained unlike his upper hand, and Ash quickly thinks that all the moves that Big Knight can't do except for one. So Ash quickly commands for Big Knight to use Flame Charge, as Big Knight managed to flee himself as it covered its butt in flames, and Superior is unable to resist that fire damage and let go of Big Knight. And once Big Knight manages to free himself, he quickly gestures towards Superior, but unfortunately one Trip calls for a powerful Leaf Storm. This powerful grass type move seems to target towards Big Knight, and even though Big Knight is much more faster, but unfortunately it could not avoid a storm move and unable to avoid or protect it from it, and unfortunately because of the powerful move, Big Knight is knocked out here. And Ash is very worried from this because Big Knight couldn't do any significant damage towards Superior and only do some chip damage, but unfortunately Ash quickly needs to think of something, and Ash quickly realizes there's another Pokemon that might just do the job done, as he returns Big Knight and summons towards Leavanny to battle. And Ash thinks that thanks to Leavanny being a grass type and bug type, Leavanny seems would be avoiding a lot of Superior's grass typing, and this seems to do the job done because once Superior attempted to use a powerful dragon tail, and Leavanny seems easily dodge out of the way and unleashing a powerful X-Scissor which does do significant damage towards the grass type, and Trip knows this and quickly commands for Superior with a powerful Leaf Storm, and this move that Leavanny really could not avoid from it and took the damage, but luckily it didn't took much thanks to its bug typing, and Ash quickly thinks that he needs to slow down Superior with a powerful string shot, as Superior is unable to use its tail because Leavanny seems to restrain it towards the ground, meaning that Superior is out of other option of moves like Dragon Tail, and Leavanny seems to call for a powerful energy ball towards Superior, and Superior is unable to avoid that attack because it's still stuck in the ground and taking the damage. But once Leavanny goes in for another X-Scissors and Survivor seems to free itself, but unfortunately thanks to the string shot it's much more slower, and once Superior tries to execute Dragon Claw, but unfortunately it's a bit too slow as Leavanny managed to strike it again with the X-Scissors, and Survivor seems to be wearing down for once, and Trip notices, so realizing that Superior will have no chance on taking out Leavanny, he simply recalls Superior and sending out his other Pokemon to battle. As Trip replaces Superior with a powerful fighting type Pokemon Congealed to battle, and Ash remembers this Pokemon, and it seems to be Trip's his strongest Pokemon by physical strength, and Ash knows he needs to be careful, so he quickly commands for Leavanny to get away from it as far away as possible by launching a powerful energy ball towards it. But Congealed doesn't attempt to dodge out the way and is simply using Bulk Up by Trip's command, as Congealed took the energy ball pretty well, and not only that, it seems to get stronger as its defense and attack goes up, and Ash knows that he needs to knock out Congealed before it powers up again, but he knows that a long range attack wouldn't do anything towards it because Leavanny doesn't have any effective move to do any significant damage towards Congealed. So reluctantly he quickly commands for Leavanny to get up close with a powerful X-Scissors, as Leavanny does do a powerful X motion towards Congealed, but unfortunately Congealed simply waited for Leavanny to land on her head, and with the momentary Congealed is able to unleashing a powerful poison jam. And Leviathan for once could not able to dodge the attack and fully took the attack full bluntly, and this does so much damage that Leviathan is actually having a hard time standing up. And Ash questions that because Leviathan didn't took that serious damage towards the pillar, and he's even sure that Kangara isn't that strong enough to wound it Leviathan there, but even it took Boka, and Ash quickly looked Kangara and quickly realized something, and he is using its ability, and Trip simply grins towards Ash. So you finally notice. I thought it would take you long enough, but you're a fast one, Ash, and yes, it is Kangara's ability, Sheer Force. It removes any signs of that in return, making a move much more stronger. And since Poison Jab, there's a chance that causes the opponent to be poisoned, but since it's using Sheer Force, it does that, but it gets stronger in return. And Ash quickly realizes it's not just bulky, but it can do significant damage, and Ash knows that if he lets Kangara to use bulk up again, it could seriously hinder his other team. So Ash quickly needs to slow down Kangara, but unfortunately Kangara is already a slow Pokemon, and String Trap wouldn't do anything towards it, and Ash quickly realizes he needs to take it out, so he has no other choice but to call a venue with an energy bond. But unfortunately, Kangara waited for opportunity to use a powerful Rock Slide, as the Rock Slide seems to block the energy ball in his strike, and Leviathan is forcibly to dodge out of the way and forcibly take its eye off Kangara, as Kangara simply moves towards Leviathan unnoticed, and once Leviathan seems to finally dodge all the Rock Slide, and unfortunately is close to too much to Kangara. And Kangara again uses a powerful poison jab, and the second time seems to knock out Leviathan, leaving shooketh Ash for the moment as he forcibly returns back Leviathan back, and unsure what to do out here.
As Krookodile and Kangara patiently wait for the battle to begin, once the referee starts the battle, the two Pokemon immediately dashes towards each other, trying to showcase their test of strength here. But unfortunately for Krookodile, Kangara is clearly much stronger, and being a fighter is able to overpower the Krookodile and manage to do a massive hit with a powerful hammer arm. But luckily Krookodile managed to slip underneath Kangara, sweeping its legs, and managed to unleash a powerful crunch attack behind Kangara. But luckily Kangara can use his massive pillar to knock aside Krookodile off his back, and Krookodile simply managed to stop himself from rolling again and ready to charge in once again, but it only is observing its opponent while Kangara does the same thing. Trip attempted to use bulk up once again, as Kangara simply powers up once again a third time, but Krookodile immediately charges in with a powerful Dragon Claw, meaning Kangara wasn't allowed to have a free boosted in power, and Krookodile managed to hit a second Dragon Claw, and the second time is clearly affecting Kangara, but not enough to not hit it in return with a powerful poison jab to Krookodile, and thankfully it's not as bad as the last time, because Krookodile managed to shake off the attack and simply uses a powerful Stone Edge as Krookodile summons beneath the trying to hit Kangara directly, but unfortunately Kangara uses Hammer Arm to destroy the attack, and not only that, it seems like Kangara simply throwing his own pet towards Krookodile, and this simply shocks Ash and Krookodile, and Krookodile could not block in time and gets hit by the pillar very hard. Not only that, it seems like Kangara seems to get through the distance and manage to hit a powerful hammer arm, and this time Krookodile seems to really feeling the damage being a dark type. And not only that, Kangara seems to grab the pillar again and attempting to use another hammer arm, but luckily Krookodile managed to grapple Kangara and simply throws him off into the ground. Not only that, since Kangara is lying on his back, this allows Krookodile to unleash his newest move after the previous battle with Corio, unleashing a powerful earthquake as Crocodile roars in the battle, shaking the earth itself, and Kanga is unable to avoid that attack because it's literally shaking the earth and crushing it, leading Kangada to have significant damage towards it. But unfortunately, Crocodile isn't doing well either, so Kangada is forcing Crocodile to get its distance away from it by unleashing a powerful rock slide. And luckily enough, Crocodile managed to avoid some of the rock slide, but unfortunately it lost its target in the midst of it. And unfortunately, Crocodile is getting hit by surprise by as Kangada is simply waiting its opportunity and unleashing a powerful poison jab with a critical hit, and Ash can notice, so he quickly commands Crocodile to blast everything in the air with a powerful earthquake. But unfortunately, the second time won't work against Kangada because it knows how to avoid the attack by simply using its pillars and dropping off it, allowing it to avoid most of the earthquake. But once it is forced to land upon it, it does feel the earthquake, but luckily it managed to only take 0.25% of the damage, but Crocodile is really feeling it, especially because Crocodile knows that he needs to pierce through Kangada's defense because of the bulk ups that Kangada has been stacking up, and not to mention its attack is getting stronger. But Ash knows that Kangada is getting tired. Even though it's very tanky, it doesn't avoid him from getting tired from it, and that's what Ash is planning on. Unfortunately, Trip knows what Ash is doing, so he just forces Kangada to get his breath back. But unfortunately, Ash doesn't allow that, while his Crocodile simply charges in for another crunch attack, and the crunch attack lands in a very awkward side for Kangada and forcing it to try to free from Crocodile. But unfortunately, the crunch attack seems to make Kangada finish a bit, meaning it takes longer for Kangada to get off of Crocodile, and once it managed to do so, but unfortunately the attack seems to finally hit Kangada as it finally takes a knee trying to get his breath, and Trip and Ash simply notice these two, including the honest knows the intensity between these two Pokemon. It seems like these two have been battling before. Both trainers simply calls out for respect for one another. The Hammer Arm Dragon Claw as the two Pokemon clash their attacks one another like a very samurai stance, but unfortunately Kangada has been using Hammer Arm a lot, and the fact of it is it gets the user much more slow, and because of this allows Crocodile to stand up proudly in the battle as Kangada is simply on the ground exhausted at it. But unfortunately Trip knows that Kangada could not defeat its rival, but once Trip looks over Crocodile, it seems like Crocodile itself hasn't avoided the hammer arm and still looks like Crocodile could be knocked out at any moment, and you can actually hear Crocodile trying to find its breath. And once Trip recalls his Pokemon back, and he simply sends out a very ancient Pokemon which surprises everyone in Ash the audience. And Archeops, a very ancient Pokemon that everyone is quite surprised, especially how rare it is as a fossil Pokemon, and Ash can clearly see now it's not just rare but quite powerful, especially being a flying type, and seeing Crocodile is literally at depth, so Ash has no other choice but to recall Crocodile back and quickly realize there's no other Pokemon that could take it on except for Pikachu, of course, but Pikachu is already severely damaged, meaning there's one Pokemon that should be restful enough to take on his ancient Pokemon by sending our Boulder to battle. Once the battle has begun, and Archeops simply uses its air capabilities to its advantage on having a domain in the air while Boulder is forcibly have to attack on the ground. But luckily Ash has one move that should do some damage as he calls for a powerful flash cannon as Boulder charges out the steel type energy, unleashing a powerful beam towards Archeops, but unfortunately thanks to its health and not as damaged as Boulder, it simply flies the attack and goes in for a powerful acrobatics, but luckily Boulder managed to take the attack gracefully and return the attack with another flash cannon as the two Pokemon collision with a powerful boom. As Archeops is managed to avoid the explosion and do complicated air maneuvers and simply dives in on the Boulder here to the point where Boulder is too close for Arceus that is unable to do anything towards it, as Arceus simply does a powerful acrobatic once again. And once Arceus manages to quickly turn itself over towards back to Boulder and then demonstrate a powerful drag energy with a powerful dragon pump, and this time the attack seems to do very damage to Boulder here, clearly effective from the attack. Not only that, once Arceus manages to fly up and Boulder has a clear shot using a powerful flash cannon once again, but unfortunately it aimed at nothing permanent. So Ash quickly calls in to rain on Arceus' capability by restricting his movement with a powerful rock slide, as Boulder summons the rocks on top of Arceus, making sure Arceus misses Boulder because it's trying its best to avoid the attack, and this seems to do the job done, as Boulder is clearly on his blind spot and unleashing a powerful flash cannon. But clearly Arceus is simply having enough with Boulder's antics, so he quickly goes to he simply flies down and smacks both of its wings and commanding a powerful stone edge, and clearly Boulder is unable to dodge the attack and simply has to take the front of it, but luckily being a rock type isn't effective against another rock type, but clearly Boulder is showing that it's getting tired, and not to mention it's getting hurt, and Ash quickly realizes he needs to do something and quickly realizes something that Arceus keeps flying down very low, which gives him an idea, and one strip commands Arceus to use a powerful acro and quickly charges in towards Boulder, but unfortunately Boulder doesn't attempt to dodge or block, it simply rides on top of Arceus because Boulder jumped on top of Arceus, meaning Arceus has an extra weight, meaning it's unable to properly fly away because of the extra weight. And Arceus is definitely in the close quarters of Boulder here, meaning Arceus has no chance on dodging this attack, as Boulder simply charges in for flash cannon, and unguarded Arceus has no other choice but to take the full brunt of it, and clearly this attack seems to knock out Arceus, leaving Trip pretty devastated, but not as worried as Ash would have expected, as Trap just simply shrugs and simply returns Arceus. It's like Arceus is like his newest member to his party, which might explain because Ash can clearly see that Arceus is making some mistakes, but it seems like Arceus did his job done, as he clearly made Boulder pretty tired, and not to mention repeatedly using flash cannon, meaning Boulder's flat only range attack move is simply is unusable in the moment. As Trip sends out a very strong Pokemon to battle, and this is where Iris is shocked that Trip has a powerful dragon type Pokemon, and Trip simply replied to as this Pokemon was completely inspired by Iris's action, but clearly mine is much more big, as you can clearly see, and Ash simply sweats drop, thinking Boulder has no other choice but he needs to slow it down, and he commands Boulder to use Sandstorm here to cover the battlefield, attempting to slow down his accelerates, but unfortunately the sandstorm doesn't seem to affect him as much because Ash simply is having a full view of Boulder here. Clearly it sees it, and Ash needs to quickly counter with something as he commands Boulder to use a powerful bulldoze, but unfortunately the Hacker simply took the attack, and not to mention the power that this Pokemon is having is very overwhelming for Boulder here, as Ashes attempt to use a powerful dual chop, and Boulder is unable to resist the move, and not to mention it's already battled with Arceus, which is already a struggle to begin with, and this allows for Hexus to do amazing damage, and Boulder is unable to block the attack, but likely managed to attempt to use a powerful flash cannon, but the downside that Boulder already repeatedly uses this move, and it shows that Boulder flash cannon isn't getting stronger, it's actually getting weaker, because it's either that the flash cannon has been used so many times now it's losing power by just over repeating the move here. Knowing that Boulder here is already touching commands for his dragon Pokemon with a powerful Earthquake, and this is struck by everyone in the audience as the Hatcher simply shakes the ground here, mimicking how Krookodile is doing it. But the kid definitely is not as strong as his, but regardless, it's a very powerful move, and Boulder is taking the full brunt of it. So actually, it causes Boulder to try to get himself a distance away Hextras, but this is a downside as Ash simply uses a powerful sword stand, making and realizing Ash is making mistakes, he tried to attempt to use Rock Slide with a combination of the Sandstorm. This time Ash does seems to lose focus on Boulder here, not only getting hit by the rock Slide and the Sandstorm is getting his irritation on, and luckily Boulder managed to get up in close and attempting to use a powerful bulldoze once again, but unfortunately Hexes sees the corner of his hands and replies with a powerful break as the X Pokemon uses its X sides to crunch down on Boulder's rocky surface, and immediately Boulder is simply knocked out, realizing Boulder's defense could not save from this giant unconscious Pokemon. As Ash simply recalls X's batch, and Ash notices Hexes is quite strong, even though Boulder did slow down with but he realized that it's not good enough, realizing he has 3 Pokemon. The 2 is just severely damaged, and Ashwat on the edge could possibly take it on, but it's unsure because this actually seems to be a very experienced Pokemon, and Ash is feeling doubt for Dua to battle it. So he quickly sends out his most trusted Pokemon here, Pikachu, as Pikachu is in the midst of their battle, but unfortunately it's still feeling the burn effect here, meaning Ash needs to take out his Hexerus quickly. But unfortunately, Pikachu has to use his tactic by running around the Dragon Pokemon, attempting to waste it. But unfortunately, Trip doesn't seem to falling for it. So in commanding Hashra says to watch observingly, waiting on Pikachu's movement, and realizing Trip is just wasting time on Pikachu. So Ash replies with a powerful Thunderbolt, and unfortunately, Hashra does react, but unfortunately actually they took the Thunderbolt fully, but unfortunately Pikachu will be unguarded by the powerful Dot Shot, and the second hit seems to be a critical hit, and Pikachu seems to really feeling it, but luckily Pikachu is a very experienced Pokemon that has battled much more worse a bigger opponent, and Pikachu simply goes back in the battle with a powerful quick attack after quick attack, while Hexers is unable to attack Pikachu because of it, but likely once Chip notices Pikachu's attack pattern, he commanded for Hexers to use a powerful break, and unfortunately for Pikachu, it could not dodge out of the way because it's already executing the move, and clearly it's taking the attack fully here. And Ash quickly knows that Ash realized that Hexers is just absorbing Pikachu most of the time and using the opportunity to attack big here, and this is where Ash has to quickly change something quite big. So he calls for Pikachu to launch a powerful Electro Ball, but in the sky here. And once Pikachu executes the move, the Electro Ball seems to fly up very high in the air, and all of a sudden once it could not fly high, it quickly climbs down while the gravity is adding the power of Electro Ball, and realizing Hexes needs to get out of their fast, Pikachu quickly turns around with a powerful Thunderbolt towards Hexes, and Ash's command for Pikachu to keep the attack led on, as Hexes is unable to avoid the attack because of it, and Hexes has to endure the Electro Ball until finally the Electro Ball seems to finally land on Hexes, thinking that might do for now, but realizing Hexer is standing up, and Pikachu and Ash realizing Hexer has only took a majority of the damage, but because of its dragon typing, it allows for Hexer to avoid from being knocked out, and Trip recalls one move here, Earthquake, with a combination of Sword Strength previously and a powerful Earthquake, and Pikachu is already tired enough to match it, it's still on effect of Burn here. Pikachu is finally knocked start from that move, meaning Ash has 2 more Pokemon left. And Ash quickly realizes he needs to set another Pokemon in, and unsure that Krookodile is able to take out Hextras, even though it knows the Dragon Claw typing, but it's unsure that Krookodile could take it. So Ash is going to send out a Pokemon in the start of the battle here, fully fresh at this point, sending out Duart here, and it's clearly shown that Duart has been sitting out of the old battlefield and is already ready to finish off the opponent. Just seeing that it's a Hexer, Duart seems to be a bit frightened, but remembering what Ash and he has gone so far, Duart is determined to take out the Hexers, as Duart is simply using a powerful Razor Shot, a powerful Sacred Sword, and Hexus is doing a powerful Door Trap as the 2 Pokemon clash their weapons one after another, but clearly that Hexus is really failing on Pikachu's attack and bonus previous attack, and while Duart did battle with Volcarona, but it clearly is recovering from that battle, leaving Duart to be a fresh Pokemon in the battle, allowing Duart to have advantage early on, as Duart not only managed to hit a couple Sacred Swords, and not only that, it seems to hit a powerful Water Pulse, which not mention it lands a powerful hit. It seems that Hexus is confused from the attack, leading for Triff to struggle for Hexus to do any sort of move, leaving it to be vulnerable for Duart to do a powerful Aqua Jet after Aqua Jet. But once Hexus quickly realizing it's getting it and doesn't like it, he simply hits a blind move here with a powerful Break Break, and the Break Break does seems to hit Duart here, but unfortunately for Hexus, Duart has been using its shell as a make shield, allowing for Duart to finish off the Hexus with a powerful Sacred Sword attack. Duart here to be the victory here. Chip simply grins at Duart and sends out Volcarona to battle, as these 2 were the start at the beginning, and now they can finally finish off as Volcarona simply uses Fiery Dance, as Volcarona simply launched towards Duart, but luckily Duart managed not only to avoid most of the damage, but returned with a powerful Water Pulse, but unfortunately Volcarona managed to dodge and only to hook off some of the damage by the Water Pulse simply hurts Volcarona's wing, but it doesn't seem to hurt as much as Volcarona, as Volcarona lands powerful Hurricane, and because of the properties of the attack, Duart is unable to fully dodge out of the way. He attempted to get up close with a powerful Sacred, but unfortunately Duart is struggling to even move out in the Hurricane, leading Ash to force it to attack long range with a powerful Water Pulse once again, but unfortunately Volcarona simply dodged attack completely and unleashing a powerful Bug Buzz, as Duart once again is struggling to hear Ash's cover because it's covering is attempting to avoid some of the damage of Bug Buzz, and Volcarona has a much more devastating powerful attack of Fiery Dance, and Duart unable to avoid the attack completely, and not to mention Duart is actually starting to feel the damage pop up because Volcarona is keep powering up by Fiery Dance, and Chip simply calls for Volcarona to use a Quiver Dance, and once again Volcarona seems to stack up in power, noting Volcarona could take out any Pokemon Ash attempts to send out, but Ash quickly realizes something about Volcarona and has an idea, so he quickly recalls Duart back and simply sends out Krookodile to battle, and this actually gets Chip by surprise, but since Chip is so surprised that Ash is willing to switch our Pokemons, but unfortunately Volcarona is have the momentum side, allowing it to launch a Pokémon towards Krookodile, and Krookodile is really feeling the attack, and not to mention is struggling to defend it, but one move that Ash commands is simply shocked by Trip, as Ash commands for a powerful Stone Edge, and this gets Krookodile very grandly and slamming its powerful arms towards the ground, and thanks to the Stone Edge property, Volcarona is unable to dodge the attack because it was focusing on harming Krookodile that it could not avoid the attack, and simply is completely knocked out from Stone Edge. Being a bug and fire typing, is unable to come back from it, meaning that Volcarona is knocked out. And Ash is quickly pressed aside because because he was throwing a Hail Mary there. But he's glad that Crocodile managed to pull out the knockout. But unfortunately, there's one downside. Trip has still one more Pokemon left, and it still hasn't really taken a severe attack as Trip sends out Superior for battle. Once Superior is out, Trip simply laughs at the situation, and Ash and Trip are what's so funny. Trip simply says my Superior hasn't took any serious damage, while on the other hand your Pokemon are quite in a state they're in. Krookodile is nearly at the Crocodile is in a condition where any move can be knocked out. Now to mention that it's the strongest Pokemon here, and now to mention what is so much in a bad position, being weak to my Superior. Well, guess what, Ash? I'm going to win this, and you're gonna watch me climb up in the tournament. And Ash simply grits his teeth. Well, it's not over until the very last Pokemon is out, commanding for Crocodile to use a powerful Dragon Claw, and Crocodile all of a sudden is finding its strength again and quickly dashes towards Superior. And Trip is a bit surprised by this, but not too worried, so he calls for a powerful lead storm as Superior launches a powerful storm here, but luckily, even though it's a very effective move towards Crocodile, Crocodile is still in a condition where he's completely tired out, but all of a sudden his trainer believing in that he could take on Superior, allowing it to drive through the pain and unleashing a barrage of Dragon Claws after Dragon Claws. Some of them do scratch towards Superior, but unfortunately it simply replies with a powerful Dragon Claw as two Draco energy clashes one another, but unfortunately Superior is still have the advantage of being much more healthier than Crocodile, as Crocodile is slowly losing strength after each time it tried to use Dragon Claw. It attempted to crunch down on its tail with a crunch, but Superior simply doesn't allow this by whirling around and then using a powerful Giga Drain, draining some of Crocodile's remaining health, but Crocodile managed to push it up and unleashing a powerful Earthquake here, attempting to knock out Superior with the most strongest move here, but unfortunately Superior seems to take the attack and simply is wrapping around Crocodile, and for once Crocodile could not find the strength to power through this, and Superior is holding tight on Crocodile and allowing Superior to squeeze in Crocodile as Crocodile is struggling to breathe from Superior's pressure, and Ash tried everything he can for Crocodile to let go, but unfortunately Crocodile is slowly losing it out, and it doesn't help that Trip simply is adding the pain here with a Giga Train, and for once Crocodile is in a position where it knows that it's completely doomed, and for once Crocodile has had enough of it and it simply is knocked out unconscious from it, leaving Ash one more Pokemon left, and Ash is simply returning Crocodile to his Pokeball and quickly realizes it's all up to Dewap left, so he quickly sends it out for battle. Once Ash sends out Dewap for battle, Dewap is breathing heavily and realizing the opponent that he's facing where it's clearly at a disadvantage, but Dewap doesn't give up. He simply found his results and quickly dashes towards Superior with a Sacred Sword, but to the audience, Superior just get its health back from Crocodile and just simply uses Dragon Claw to counter every time that Dewap uses Sacred Sword. Every time Dewap tried its best to hit Superior, Superior simply backs it off with a powerful Dragon Claw, and Dewap's shells has been scattered at the battlefield, and he tries his best to get them, but to Ash's surprise, Trip just allows this to happen, and Ash is quite questioned about Trip's decision allowing Dewap to gather his shells. And Ash is quite questionable on Trip's action, and Trip simply grins. You want to know why I'm letting this happen? Because I know for a fact that Dewap is not your strongest Pokemon. Matter of fact, he's quite the opposite. In fact, he's quite literally your weakest Pokemon. In fun fact, Dewap throughout the battle has been struggling on defeating any of my Pokemon. The only time where he clearly won is against a Pokemon that's already bad the other two Pokemon, and clearly Dewap needed help, and clearly it's quite obvious Ash, you should have brought in a better Pokemon than this pathetic weakling. And this is where Ash gets angry about it, but to Duart's perspective, everything went silent and he quickly realized he is the weakest party member of Ash. Realizing at the very beginning, Duart has always been a coward and always battles a Pokemon that he knows for a fact that he can win, but ever since that Ash captures Sander, he quickly realized Ash is using Sander more and more, which quite makes Duart quite mad of that. He tries his best to get Ash to notice that he's not the weakest. He tried his best to be the strongest on his team member, but quickly realized Ash just favors Krookodile more. And the matter of fact that Chef is just hammering on that it is true, and this is quite upsetting. And all of a sudden he gets angry, and not just anger, upset, and not to mention he's always tired of being the weakling. He doesn't want to hold back his allies anymore. He wants to be the reason why they win. And realizing this, Duart simply cried out, and everyone is quite silent from this, but quickly realized Duart's roar in anger is quickly allowing him to evolve here. Because of pure frustration, this allows Duart to finally reach to his final evolution point, evolving into a powerful Samurott in battle, shocking everyone in the midst. And Ash is quite excited, not to mention something is different with Samurott. It's much more calmer and it's holding his anger to the point where he's pulled out his shells here. It now has transformed into actual swords, and once he executes the most sacred sword, all of a sudden Samurott is there and dashes towards Superior, and unexpectedly that Samurott has found this tremendous speed simply slashes towards Superior and is clearly gotten hit by that attack, and this is surprised by Trip here because he didn't know Samurott had this much power inside of him. Not to mention, when Trip tried to command for a powerful leaf storm, Samurott quickly simply avoided this hurricane of attack and simply charges in for a powerful Mega Horn. And this is a new move that Samurott has acquired, launching a powerful Mega Horn, and this time it seems to be a super effective attack because Superior is the grass that unbothered by this, and the support that health that he got from Krookodile previously went out of the window because Superior is actually having to breathe to get his air bearings back. And Ash quickly realized that Samurott has a chance, so he called for another attack, Waterfall, as Samurott calls a Waterfall towards Superior, and Superior does manage to avoid the attack, attempting to use a Dragon Tail, but unfortunately Duart uses Aqua Jet to avoid it and lands a powerful Sacred Sword attack. And the second attack seems to really feeling for the attack is such tremendous damage that Superior is actually struggling to pull up the next attack, as Samurott is up in closer and saying I'm not the weakest anymore, and just looks towards Jet and quickly realizes that Samurott has gotten strong, so he calls for a powerful leaf storm once again, and this time Samurott is in the midst of the storm here, but it's literally at limited HP, Samurott just continues on charging forward with a powerful Mega Horn and to command for Superior to finish off once and for all with a powerful Dragon Claw. And once the two move collides one another and the storm has calmed down, but unfortunately there's one Pokemon left standing. Samurott is the one to stand stalk first as Superior is knocked out, and everyone is quite crazy, including Trip and Ash.
Once the two trainers recover from their shock while leaving Samurott to yell in victorious, leaving Ash to rush it and give it a big hug as congratulating on finally defeating his. While Trip is still in disbelief and trying to readjust his mind on what just happened in front of him, he just breathes a sigh that he at least is glad to get this far deep in the league here, as Trip simply recalls Superior's and prepares to walk away, while Ash quickly stops there and simply bringing out his
hand for a handshake, and Ash simply says, Trip, you are the toughest rookie I ever fought of, and I met a lot of trainer who's pretty new, but clearly not as good as you. And Trip is simply accepts a compliment and vowing that this isn't going to be the last time they battle, but unfortunately Trip still needs to find a way how to get to catch up with Ash, as Trip simply runs off to the stadium, leaving Ash to be the victor. But Ash quickly looks at Samurott, who's still in the midst of the battle, and he has finally taken enough damage to fall over, as Ash is quickly picking him up, and Ash just says thank you, Samurott, for lending me your strength, even though you were the first Pokemon I caught in Unova, but clearly not focusing on you in the later part of my journey really affected you in a bad way, because I overused Krookodile than you. I'm sorry for being a bad trainer. Will you ever forgive me again? As Samurott, being much more mature after being over, simply nodded to Ash that he simply isn't the wrong. He is just simply trying to bring out the best of all the Pokemon that he has. And that's where we're gonna end the episode here. But after this point in time, Ash unfortunately will face against the trainer with the Eevee Evolution as his full team, even though Ash will do much more better than Cameron here, but unfortunately Ash using only his Unova Pokemon really beat him, because most of them have already had the intense battle with the previous trainers, meaning Ash will be facing upon a trainer with more exhausted team. And it didn't help that he didn't bring out Krookodile, because he was pretty much the heavy hitter, and even Samurott didn't really help Ash, because Samurott already itself had an intense battle, including Pikachu here, leaving Ash to be the top 2 here, which means he did way better than last time, but unfortunately Ash could not bring the home here. And at this point, Ash will probably follow in the same way in the original here. And I don't see any crazy changes at this point if Ash gets Krookodile early. I will point out that Ash would have a probably better chance on fighting off the evil Team Genesis in trying to control Russia, but that's pretty much about it. Nothing really changed much, but regardless, I hope you guys enjoy this more interesting what if. This is going to be the end of the series, but not the end of my continue on different what ifs. I hope you guys are continue on watching my other video, which means quite a lot. Until next time, peace.